Hi folks, this is Don Meissner with the North Country Fishing Report. And I'm here with Linda right now. We're preparing for our second big fishing show of the year, which is in basically New York City. It's in Suffern, which is right on the outskirts of New York. And I've been thinking about something that I recently was sent by Dave Swanson with Up North NY. And these radio spots that I do, Dave rebroadcasts on Up North NY 2 weeks later, so people around the country can, if they want to listen to what we say, they can. And one of the people that gets the shows this way got back to us and said, I was really interested when you talked about the $100 plus lures that people buy at these sports shows. It seemed to really bother this guy that people would do this. For the life of him, he couldn't figure it out. And he said, if I'm going to spend $100 on lures, I'm going to buy 5 of my very favorite lures and not buy something that I know is not going to catch any more fish for me than what I'm already using. And this is sort of an interesting take on this. I know I was literally almost appalled the first year that I saw people start to do this. And basically, the people that do this, I think, are the dyed-in-the-wool bass tournament fishermen people that are always trying to get that top fish. And I don't think it applies so much for families that are interested in getting into fishing. And Linda, you've observed the same thing with me every year.
The human behavior is very interesting to watch when you see individuals, and typically in very cold weather, waiting for hours in line to get into one of these sports show venues to have a chance to buy one of these lures. And they range from maybe $120 all the way up to $300.
Yes. And here's what we're not trying to say. We're not trying to say these aren't really incredible lures, because they're beautiful. But I'll tell you what, there is an alternative if you want a beautiful, bigger lure that you can catch a fish of a lifetime. And that is right in our area. We have a company, and Chris, who is the owner of this company, makes the most beautiful lures, the A-Bay Lure Lab.
Yes, Chris Mellowship. Yes, nice man, a veteran. He served his nation, and now he paints
these
lures,
incredible
and they
lures.
Are beautiful.
They are works of art, and if people want to collect and have something they can look at and say, this is part of my artful collection of beautiful fishing tackle along my $1,000 rod and my $600 reel. But honestly, Chris's stuff is so incredible, and he doesn't charge these kind of prices.
I was going to say, Don, that I've never known Chris or his wife, Christina, to think about charging that kind of money. When they go to sports shows and when they sell the lures, the lures are very reasonably priced, and folks can afford them.
And they truly are a lure of a lifetime. If you get one, I'll guarantee you, if you haven't seen these lures that Chris makes, you wouldn't believe what you can acquire. Mm-hmm. And, when Chris and Christina came to the sports shows like we do, they were criticized by the people that run these sports shows. Your prices are too low. You're not going to be able to compete with these guys that are selling their lures for $300, because now we're talking about human nature. And when people see something that's highly, highly priced, they think it's got to be that much better.
They think it has greater
value. If they're charging that much money. And what you're really paying for in these lures is the artful sort of development or creation.
Interpretation.
A better word.
Of a species. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, I've actually seen their booth when they go to sports shows, and they have a beautiful array of
You're
all
talking
types.
About Chris and Christina
Chris
now.
and Christina.
It's called the A-Bay Lure Lab, isn't it?
Yes, that's it exactly, the A-Bay Lure Lab. And I bet that your listeners, if they're interested, they can purchase online, or they can go to Alex Bay and go to their shop.
They got to go down there and see them.
Yes.
And you go down there, and Chris will also endow you with some wonderful stories of all these monster fish that he has caught out in the St. Lawrence River with these lures.
Because he
and when
was
I fished, I did a show with Chris one time,
was gonna
and I'll
say.
tell you what, he made me look like a joke. He was catching 5 times the big bass I was.
He has great technique.
He's a good fisherman.
Yes.
And he's a great artist. And
Yeah.
so that's the end of this story. But it came to mind when I got this letter from one of our, I would love to be able to say fans that listened to our radio show a few weeks ago, talking about these expensive lures.
He's evidently a listener. Whether he's a fan or not, we don't know.
But remember one thing, back in the good old day, Huckleberry Finn didn't have a $100 lure. He had probably a stick with a hairpin crooked to be like a hook, and was able to catch his fish.
On a worm.
On a worm, you're right. Until next time, folks, this is Don and Linda with the North Country Fishing Report.